Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Pranams to all Swamijis, Swaminis, and a warm welcome to all. The Samvada play is based on a 5-week course on the teachings of the Aitareya Upanishad by Swami Tattvavidananda. It begins with the mantra Atma va idameka evagra asit and ends with sa etena pradnyanena atmana, etc. Samvada dialogue may seem uproarious and charged at first, but ultimately it concludes in a healthy discussion between groups of karma, upasana, and the great Vedantins regarding moksha. It will be clear soon who wins this dialogue. It may also illuminate how the thoughts are visually presented to the audience to capture the essence of dialogue. It's none other than Swami Tattvavidananda, who has thoroughly reviewed the script. Swamini Śrī Vidya directed the play with the help of selected students from the course. There is no doubt that the moderator, script, and actors will make this play a huge success. Our invitation to all Swamijis, Swaminijis, Vedanta course students, and online viewers is to watch this play with relaxed minds and focused attention. There will be an interesting ending to the play, so don't miss it. Make sure you stay tuned until the end. A wonderful performance is expected from the actors, and I wish them all the best. Please let me invite the moderator, Swamini Śrī Vidyananda ji, to introduce the play. Thank you. No clappings?
So I'm back again like a bad penny, one last time. Namaskaram Swamiji, Acharya Jis, Shuddhatma Ji, and dear friends. In his commentary on the Aitareya Upanishad, Bhashyakara establishes that the Upanishad itself holds out a distinct goal, which is the realization of the identity of the individual soul with the Nirguna Brahman. So, our understanding is that the ultimate reality, Brahman, is ever liberated, and since we are non-separate from that, it cannot very well be said we get liberated. Mandukya Karika also says that there is no seeker of liberation and none liberated. Now, this gives rise to a question. All this talk about moksha, this liberation, is for whom and from what? Good question to get an A+. But what is the answer? Is it answerless? If it cannot be solved, should it be dissolved? Perhaps our panel of Siddhantis and Purvapakshis will inspire us. Please welcome them. The opening statement is, it is not enough to say parisamaptam karma, but also that not only has karma concluded, I have understood Brahma Upasana also. So let us move forward. When that is said, then there will be an objection. There is nothing to move forward to because Veda is completed and there is nothing beyond that. This is the vision of the Mimamsakas. Bhashyakara says there is karma and upasana, fine, but there is something called jnanam also, which is beyond karma and upasana and it is superior. That is why the Shruti started this Upanishad saying, Atma vaidamagra asit, in order to dismiss karma upasana people who maintain that there is no jnanam. Upasana prepares the person for the higher vision, leaves it there and resolves. Then it is Atma Jnanam all by itself. Then once again a question is asked. How do you know Atma Vaidamagra Asit mantra is only for Atma Jnanam and that it has nothing to do with karma and upasana?
O respected Acharyas, you are declaring that the next part of the Veda, which begins as Atma va idameva agra asit, etc., is to instruct Atmajnana. This is the realization of the self. It has no connection with karma and upasana. And that it has to be instructed. How do you know that? Maybe karma also has a part of it.
When you read the Aitareya Upanishad, you will not find any topic except Atmajnanam. The other topics are karma and upasana. So the karma sambandha is just not there. You have the inward feeling of doing a thing that you love. Jnana should bless the action. And if the action you perform has no relevance in the context of Atmajnanam, then that action has to withdraw. You cannot make an artificial connection to Atmajnanam with karma.
Okay, there is no connection for the Atma Gnana with karma. Agreed. But will you connect Atma Gnanam with upasana?
Even that is not possible. Because in upasana, there is dualism. Vedic upasana takes you to Atma Gnanam, which is Sarvatma Bhava. Moksha, it prepares you, hands you over to Atma Gnanam and resolves.
Another issue is the devatas you worship also have problems of hunger and thirst, and that is the quality of samsara. That devata cannot make you free from hunger and thirst, free from birth and death. You will still remain a samsari. Whereas the Upanishad talks about Parabrahman, which is free from hunger and thirst. So the message it is giving you about Atmajnanam has nothing to do with karma.
Okay, let it be so. Even the devatas are fraught with the problems of samsara and so cannot offer moksha. Therefore, karma and upasana cannot give you moksha. Then how do you get moksha? Who is eligible for this Atmajnanam? You say only akarmi is eligible for the Atmajnanam. We don't agree with that at all. Karmi is also eligible for the Atmajnanam and moksha.
How, Bhagavan? Please explain yourself.
You see, it is like this. there is aham and mama. I am this person, unhappy, worried, afraid, etc. is aham. And then mama is what I want. Wealth, health, this, that, heaven, etc. This is the karmi who performs ritual. I want to keep this and hold on to that.
But what about Atma Jnanam?
Please listen, Bhagavan. The scripture starts with karma, then upasana, and then jnanam. It does not say that the moment karma is over, karmi is over, and Atma Jnanam is only for akarmi. We don't see such a difference between karma section and jnanam section. Remaining as karmi, I have come to Vedanta.
Just before the Upanishad, in Aitareya Aranyaka, in the ritual Brihati Sahasra, it is karma. Only after finishing the Brihati Sahasra Rupa Karma, Atma Jnanam starts in the Upanishad. So, from this, we conclude that the karmi alone comes into Atma Jnanam. The conclusion is that only karmi is eligible, not akarmi.
Aitareya Aranyakam also says that the person performing karma is connected with the upasana of visualizing cosmic life in all. Therefore, adhikari for karma, upasana and jnanam is same. That is karmi.
Do you mean to say the conclusions in the Brihati Sahasra and the Aitareya Upanishad are not the same? Therefore, jnanam is indeed connected to karma? That is a lot of repetition. Repetition of that kind does not fit well into the vision of the Shastra.
You say punarukti, repetition dosha is not there, learned Acharya ji. Though it is the same Atma, some of the qualities of Atma that were not mentioned earlier will be established here in the Upanishad. Therefore, the karmi eligible for the Brihati Sahasra Karma and Upasana will be eligible for the Upanishad also. So, it is not repetition. Got it?
How can you say that the same Atma which is presented in the Upanishad, but only additional qualities are added?
The Atma presented in Brihati Sahasra is Surya. But that Atma is not the origin, sustenance and annihilation. The Upanishad adds those dharmas to the Atma. Therefore, there is no punarukti.
You see, Ishavasya presents Vidya and Avidya together. Vidya is Upasana and Avidya is Karma. Therefore, the Upanishad is aimed at Karma only. So, never again say that Akarma Sambandhi Atma Jnanam, knowledge of the self has nothing to do with Karma.
Acharya ji, Sukla Yajurveda Samhita Upanishad talks of 100 years of life. Karmani kuruvanneva iha asmin loke. You have to aspire to live 100 years, doing karma only. Now you talk of akarmi sambandha for the Upanishad. If at all he lives 100 years, he has completed the mandate that he should do karmas for 100 years. Then he can stop karmas and do Upanishad. But people do not live more than 100 years because there is no candidate now left for Upanishads. You must say, do your karmas and come and study Upanishads.
Oh, respected Acharyajis, some people are not fit for doing karma. In karma, there is a mandate that you should go around the fire 3 times. Suppose a person is lame. How can he do that? Somebody is born deaf. Without studying Veda, how can he do karma? A person born blind cannot do karma. How will an unmarried person do karma without a wife? Sannyasa and study of the Upanishads are meant for such people who are unfit for karma.
Suppose a karmi wants to pursue Atma Gnana and he understands the Atma. Do you have a problem there?
Yes, there is a problem because he is a karmi. What kind of Atma is he? Because he imagines himself to be this or that, a false self is in place.
What is Atma Jnanam? Understanding oneself as fullness, the Purna Atma. You do not have a sense of want. That is fullness. So when you say Atma Jnanam is for karmi, it is the continuation of karma. Both are wrong, not acceptable.
Aptakama is Brahman, timeless and spaceless. That you are now. You have to understand that. Now, I don't find anything to desire. Don't need the desired results of whatever karma that is already done by me. Don't see any karma which can make me better or can fill a void in me, because there is no void in me. I am infinite. I am Purna Atma.
Is there a connection between Atma Jnana and karma? In Atma Jnana, there is no karma, and in karma, there is no Atma Jnana. There is no connection. That being so, who is eligible for Atma Jnana? Karmi? How can he be? He experiences so much want in himself. A samsaric karmi entering into Atma Jnana is like a sick man entering into an Olympics training center. No point in it. So karmi is not eligible for Atma Jnanam. Not that he is inferior, but only that he is not the right candidate.
You may not have a desire, but you do the karma because it is a mandate of the scripture. In this kind of authority, you don't get freedom, and also the scriptural authority or religious icons authority leads you to fear. If you don't do the karma, some harm may come to you. It will never ever feed a human being. Freedom is the understanding of fullness, completeness in yourself.
Excuse me. While we wait for the players to catch their breath, here's a short enactment based on one of Swamiji's humorous examples. Scripture is the authority, and it tells a person what to do and casts him into a mold. When he is forced into that mold, he is not acting for a result, but merely acting, just our devoted Pula did in going to Vemavaram. Now imagine this scenario where we are all on an all-expense paid trip to meet the couple Rangana Garu and Mallamma Garu in the little town of Kottipalli in Andhra Pradesh. Pulaya, their faithful servant, was so devoted that he would work tirelessly to get things done to their satisfaction, sometimes even before he was asked to. It was night when we approached their home and see Pulaya spreading his sleeping mat on the floor of the platform outside the house and was about to lie down. Just then we hear Anna Garu and Amma Garu talking inside.
ఏమండి?
Pulaya, ears perked, straightens up and listens through the window. Who doesn't like to eavesdrop? Come on, let's join too.
ఏమండి? When are you sending Pulaya to Vemavaram? చాలా అర్జెంట్ అండి.
Oh, Vemavaram? I forgot all about it. Avunu. Yes. I will send him tomorrow morning, even before the cocks crow.
See, Ammagaru and Annagaru, they are very, very good to me. I have to do this for them. Tomorrow morning, I get up early, even before they wake up, and go to Vemavaram. Govinda, padkunta.
कौसल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा सन्ध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ नरशार्दूल कर्तव्यं दैवमान्निकम् उत्तिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ गोविन्द उत्तिष्ठ गरुडध्वज उत्तिष्ठ कमलाकान्त त्रैलोक्यं मङ्गलं कुरु मातः समस्तजगतां मधुकैतभारे
పుల్లయ్య, పుల్లయ్య, ఎక్కడున్నావో? వేర్ ఇస్ దిస్ మ్యాన్? So much work to do. Hey Pulaya, have you seen him? Have you seen Pulaya? Rama, ఎక్కడ పోయినాడు ఏమో.
After a 2-hour walk, Pulaya arrives in Vemavaram, gets his meal from an Annapurna center, rests under a shady tree, and returns home in the evening. Tired, but quite pleased with himself.
పుల్లయ్య వచ్చినవా? ఎక్కడ పోయినాడుడా?
అమ్మా, నేను వేమవరం వెళ్ళాను. I went to వేమవరం.
వేమవరం ఎందుకో? వై? Who told you to go?
Oh, ma, last night you and Annaya were talking, right? Yes, I heard.
You heard?
Yeah, and Annaya told you to go to Vemavaram. I went to Vemavaram and came back.
Without knowing what to do, you went to Vemavaram and came back. Hey, madda buddhi. Ra. Chala pani unnadi, ra. Lot of work to do. Come.
Now, Pulaya did not care what the purpose was and may not have had his sight on any result, but he did it because he was in that mold.
Atma does not fit into any mold created by authority. Being infinite, free, Purna, and including all, into which mold will you cast it? If you want the thing that you desire, or you want to get rid of the undesirable and pursue the means, which is a ritual, then you are a candidate for scriptural authority. It does not apply to the one who knows the truth of the self.
I don't have any desires whatsoever. Still, I do karma. That is the power of the mandate of Veda.
That thinking is not valid because the candidate for karma is determined by desire, not by Veda's command.
Veda can command because it is the supreme.
Oh, tell me, Acharyaji, where did the Veda come from? Is it not from the Atma, Brahman? It originated from the awareness, which is myself. And that Veda, which is in the form of words, cannot command its own origin. Don't you see that?
Veda commands people who don't know the self, not the Gnani who knows the self. This is the biggest revelation of Shankara. Unless there is that revolt in you, you will never know the truth. You will become an imitator, living in fear, not freedom. Therefore, Gnani is not the candidate for the dictates of Veda. Every dictate or every mandate does not apply to everybody.
Does not the Gnani also depend upon the Veda to tell him that he is Brahman? If that be so, then it can mandate even a Gnani.
If a Jnani, desireless and fearless, is also a candidate for rituals that are aimed to fulfill desires and avoid fears, that means the entire Adhikara Mimamsa falls flat. The eligibility criteria is no more valid. That means the criterion for a given karma to be performed by a given person is absent.
Just as karma is mandated by the Veda, Gnanam is also mandated by Veda. So now Gnani becomes a candidate for mandate because Gnani gets Gnanam mandated by the Veda.
This argument violates the fundamental understanding that Gnana cannot be mandated. Only karma can be mandated. This is a basic tenet.
Shastra mandates the person to perform karma. In the same way, Shastra mandates Atma Jnanam also for the karmi.
Oh, learn it, Acharyaji. Even the Veda cannot rationally mandate two mutually contradictory things. If the Veda says that the fire is cold and hot, will you accept it?
A karmi has krita and akrita. he has already performed some karmas and he is yet to perform other karmas. Jnani is not connected with either krita or akrita because he is not a karta. He does not have any purpose to be served by the karma that was performed, and he will not attract the sin of omission for the karma that are not done.
I want this, and therefore I get it. Whatever I have to preserve it, and whatever I do not have should stay away from me. This is Yoga Kshema. Shastra does not mandate the desire. When all life forms seek Ishta Yoga and Anishta Viyoga, you cannot say it comes from the Veda.
Why can't a karmi be eligible for Upanishad study to gain self-knowledge? In the morning do karmas, and when there is no karma, study and acquire self-knowledge. What is the problem?
No, because there is a contradiction. You are an enjoyer desiring a result, therefore perform a karma as karta in the morning. And then in the afternoon, when you become free from the karma, you are akartru atma? How is it possible, Bhagavati? It is like saying fire is both cold as well as hot, and sun is dark as well as effulgent.
If Veda is teaching that you are akarta, not the doer, then the problem of contradiction arises. But no, it is not teaching that way at all. You got it all wrong.
Nowhere in the Veda, in the entire Karma Kanda, Karta is mentioned. It never asks you to desire. It only says to do this karma if you have this desire.
There are sentences such as Somena Yajeta, Jyotistomena, Svarga Kamo Yajeta, which indicate desire and karma. But why is there no mention of karta?
If there is no karta, then Somayaga cannot be feasible, and the mandate Somena Yajeta becomes redundant.
It is only because of the principle of not feasible otherwise, you have to bring in a karta, the doer. This is what you are saying, Acharyaji.
Can we go back to where we left off earlier? We reiterate again, Veda is not saying that you are a karta. Therefore, a karmi can indeed pursue Atmagnanam.
Now, that is not acceptable. Look at the Upasamhara in the Aranyaka. It says Samatma, which means Purusha, Brahman, who is distinct from Prakriti, also happens to be my essential nature. This is the Sama Atma. Purusha, being the Chetanam Brahma, cannot possibly be a party to doing, because all doing is in Prakriti only.
When you identify with what is going on, you are identifying with Prakriti. Should you? Can you do that? The being and doing are not identical.
Gita says, I neither act nor cause others to act. Action is in time, whereas I'm timelessly aware of what is going on. That is the Purusha, Sakshi Chaitanyam. That is how one has to realize oneself.
The karma in you is not Brahman. You know your thought process through the prajnanam, the element of knowingness in you. The fact is, all movement is in the Prakriti and none in Purusha. Action is the domain of body and mind. You remain as a witness and realize yourself as the prajnana. That is what Upanishad is teaching.
As we pointed out earlier, you forget Atma Jnanam and become a karta. And then when you remember, you become akarta. This is strange even for you. Can you hold on to karma and akarma jnanam also? Bhashyakara says that once you realize that you are the fullness, you will never lose it because it is not intellectual. It cannot be dismissed or negated by anybody.
I know that I am not a karta. Now, what are you going to do? Can you negate the fact I am what I am? No, because it is the highest truth. You alone are.
This kind of a knowledge which you described, Aham Brahmasmi, etc., never happens. You are just imagining. Our moksha is feasible, attainable, and doable.
You cannot dismiss it altogether, saying that no such knowledge can happen. It did to one, and he said, Tattvamasi.
Acharyavara, you say that the domain of karma, the karma phala, all of that is an illusion. And that nobody gets anything out of it. Okay, if that is so, then karma tyaga must also be an illusion, right? Then why do you say only akarmi is meant for Upanishad?
I do karma. Naturally, I want result. But you find fault with me, saying I have to do karma without looking for any result. So now, enlighten me on this, Vipravar. If I should not look for any result in karma, then even in the tyaga that you do, you should not look for any result. Am I right?
In the human consciousness, there is a thing called seeking purpose. For an ajnani, by doing a karma, a purpose is served, and when a karma is mandated upon you, if you don't do it, you get pratyavaya, the sin of omission. Veda gives karma mandates. As a karta, by not doing karma, you hurt yourself.
This does not apply to the jnani. By doing, no purpose is accomplished, and by not doing, no harm comes to the jnani. He has no reason to desire anything and does not have any purpose to serve. Therefore, he has nothing to do with the karma.
If jnani has no purpose to serve with karma, then karma becomes redundant. What then will a jnani do? The purpose with the karma is over, so he turns his back on desires and karma, rises above and realizes the self.
Jnani is already liberated. Okay. Therefore, karma and tyaga are characterized by the absence of purpose. Yes. So both are in the same category. So why go from one purposeless thing to another purposeless thing? Better remain in the original purposeless thing and only do karma. Or if purposelessness is common for both karma and tyaga, then let the karmi also come into the study of the Upanishad and do karmas in the morning.
Tyaga is not a karma. You can't compare mangoes with apples. When it is karma, we ask the question, is there any purpose? Because karma means effort. But if it is not doing anything, just be, then the question about purpose is not relevant. Because just being is not a kriya.
What is the definition of karma? It is kriya for a result, and that is karma by a doer. Whereas tyaga is not kriya. No purpose is served and no doer also. And you want to compare both? How?
When you come to the Brahmagnani context, all meaning of purpose becomes redundant. Who has to serve whom? Who has to know whom? Atma alone is. It timelessly is. And it is bliss.
Desires establish karma. The jnani has no desires, so he does not have any purpose to be served by the karma. Desirelessness does not make him Brahma newly. It only reveals his true nature.
Understand, in this way, Bhagavan, all desires fall into two categories. One is of sadhya, the end, and the other is of sadhana, the means to achieve the end. Desire is the fundamental blemish that happens due to ignorance and leads to karma. Now the bondage is complete.
Desire guides the mind to create a world for its own fulfillment. This blemish of avidya, kama, karma cannot exist for a jnani. He will not move in the direction of the fulfillment of the kama, so for him there is no further action to be taken. That is vyuthana, rising above desires and actions for the jnani. The jnani has no desires, therefore vyuthana is his dharma, an essential quality.
In vyuthana, there is no seeking of purpose. Okay. In karma yoga also, karma does not seek any result. Then, if purposelessness is same for karma as well as for vitthana, why not do karma only?
This comparison is wrong. A person performing a karma without seeking the result and a person doing vitthana, both are great, but they are not the same.
Shankara says that for a jnani, there is nothing except vyutthana. He is always abiding in the status of vyutthana. So the fact is, you do not have avidya, ignorance, which is like darkness, and therefore no desires and no need to do any karmas goaded by desires. What is the natural consequence of all that? Vyutthana. You're not going to acquire it in particular, it happens automatically. So the Veda cannot come and say that it is mandating vyutthana for you. If it is karma, Veda mandates and says, do this karma.
Panditji, please explain again. Why not mandate vitthana?
Something to be done alone gets mandated. If there is nothing to be done, what mandate will you give? When he enters into vitthana naturally, by dismissing desires and karmas due to the knowledge, avidya is gone. Then vitthana is not a topic for mandating.
All right. In vitthana, the gnani has to just be. So if it is only just being, that he can as well be in the family. Why sannyasa? Not necessary.
I have got the jnana. There is nothing like me and mine or my family. So why should I stick to the house? Let me as well walk out.
Acharya ji, your question is why should one take sannyasa? Why not stay at home only? And somebody asks, why should I stay at home? Why not take sannyasa? The question could be that way also. Which is the right question? Which is the right approach? There are no standard answers. It all depends.
Shankara says that the very idea of me and my family, the mindset which determines the life of a family person, is entirely inspired by desire. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, ritual is described. There are only two desires in the field of desire, sadhana eshana and sadhya eshana. Whatever goals I have to reach, results I want to gain, things I want to gain come under sadhya eshana. Wife, son, objects of ritual become sadhana eshana, the desire for the means.
A family person is connected to wife, son, wealth, home. These are all sadhanas. This connection is a must, niyama, for a family life. He is connected because of desire for conquering this world and the other world. This is sadhya eshana. So, sadhya eshana translates into sadhana eshana.
Whereas a jnani does not have this particular connect with this lady as my wife, these kids as my children, this house as my house. He does not have any ambition to be secured with the help of these means.
Okay, he does not have ambition. Then what?
There is no then what? That connect, which is entirely inspired by ambition, is not there for a jnani. And another name for that ambition, absence of connection, is vithanam. It is not an action, not something you get newly.
Okay. Vithanam is not going to Rishikesh or Uttarkashi. It is only absence of connection. No particular attachment. I have already risen above all this. It does not matter whether I stay here or go to Rishikesh. Therefore, I will stay here only. I can argue this way.
Okay, there is another argument too. Now there is no connection. I am nobody as far as they are concerned, and they are also nobody as far as I am concerned. So why should I linger? Let me go to a group of sadhus and live by bhiksha.
Holding on to the family life is same as holding on to the me and my family syndrome. You know the truth of the self, so you need not do any karmas anymore. Be at home, so that you will not have any problems with the food, other necessities and comforts.
No, that is not the right vithanam.
Then what is the right one?
The right one will be just to break all connections and walk away and take sannyasa.
Then what about brahmacharya? Suppose he is a brahmachari and gains the knowledge of the self. Should he stay at home as brahmachari?
Not necessary. He need not stay in the Gurukulam. He is no more connected with the duties of a brahmachari. In this absence of any particular connection, only sannyasa and abiding as the pure self remain for the jnani. Therefore, once he knows his swarupa, he just walks away.
If Atma Gnanam disconnects me from my family, then Vyuttanam happens to me. Then I will have to go around for bhiksha, and that is very inconvenient. Because there are rules and regulations in that too.
Just like grahasthas, there are regulations for the sannyasis also. The sannyasi has to follow them. We grahasthas have mandates and we have to follow them. So, as far as the mandates are concerned, there is no difference in spite of Vyuttana.
Sannyasi has to follow regulations like a grihastha. Both have to maintain the body. Only difference is going around for bhiksha or have bhiksha at home. Let it be so. I will stay at home.
Amma Bhagavati, that is not the way. First, begin with the admission that you do not know and start from there. Staying at home, Vyuttana, all this argument is coming from the complacency of an ignorant grihastha. Staying at home will not make you comfortable.
What is Vyutthanam? You say that you will stay at your home? That means you are connecting and talk of regulation while holding on to a particular home which you call my home? It must be due to desire only. So then, where is Vyutthanam? In Vyutthanam, there will be no desire.
Begging for food is not a mandate. It is a statement of fact. A sannyasi does not hold on to any particular home as my home. He is only seeking food and a piece of cloth to keep the body alive and going. Without any effort or mandate from the Veda, begging has come naturally. That is the meaning of Vyutthana.
Vipravara, why do you say Vyutthana is entirely free from mandate? There are mandates for the Vyutthana of the sannyasi also. He has only one job, and that is to maintain the body, keep it alive. For that, he has to go around for bhiksha. And once he starts doing that, the niyamas will come. You cannot go to the same house again and again. Go to any house that comes on your way. Should not put the family people in difficulty. Maintain cleanliness and silence, etc.
Look at the sannyasi. He is desireless, a gnani, and has to go for bhiksha. Because he has Vyutthanam, and in bhiksha, he has to follow niyamas. A family person has no desires. He has realized his Atma, but still he is in the family and has to pursue nitya karmas without fail. There is no difference. So, no need to take sannyasa. Let him remain at home and do karma, which means wife will be there. Let her also be there.
And also, by not taking to a life of sannyasa, he is following the mandate of the Shruti, which is, as long as one lives, he has to perform Agnihotra karma, the oblations to the fire. Even though he has no desires, he does karma to avoid the sin of omission. Therefore, in doing so, the family person comes out superior than the sannyasi.
The family person has an advantage. In that, he is performing nitya karma, which is mandated by the Shruti. Whereas, the sannyasi has to give up karma. Therefore, the sin of omission goes to the sannyasi, but not to the family person.
Veda mandates daily duties for grahastha. He has to do them as long as he lives. If people start taking to sannyasa, who is left to do the nitya karma? The statement of Veda will become redundant.
If people take to sannyasa, What will happen to Nitya Karma, you ask? Nothing will happen. Some other people get married and they will follow Nitya Karma.
Just because one becomes a jnani, that does not mean the entire universe has become jnani. Nitya karmas and mandates are meant for ajnani. There are always people who are ignorant, and hence these nitya karmas will apply to them.
A person takes to a life of sannyasa and is begging bhiksha. Is this bhiksha not a mandate for a gnani? He has to follow certain regulations while asking for bhiksha. Suppose it is a mandate, then he walked out of some mandates and came back into some other mandates.
Certainly not, Ammagaru. He is not begging because there are mandates. Asking for bhiksha is not coming from the mandate of regulations. It is a natural outcome, and once that is in place naturally, some mandate come and apply. Therefore, you can't compare the regulation and bhiksha with nitya karma mandates.
There is a mandate attached to achamana, sipping water thrice, which is a purificatory rite. Some of the thirst is also gone in the process. Is he doing achamana for the sake of quenching his thirst? No. He is doing it because it is mandated, and quenching the thirst is kind of a side benefit.
Whereas, the main purpose of bhiksha is meant for removing the hunger. It is not a side benefit. It is undertaken as a natural thing happening naturally. It is also an activity, and there are few regulations which the sannyasi follows. In fact, sannyasi is following those regulations not for gaining anything.
Acharya ji, that kind of activity does not seem to be meaningful. It is just unmatta pravritti. It does not seem to fit into the rationale at all.
No, that is not valid. Which is more comfortable? Bhiksha following regulations. Violation of regulations of bhiksha requires additional effort and struggle.
In Vividisha Sannyasa, he is aspiring to know the truth of the self. So there are two options. He does not know the true self, but he has a value for it, so he studies the Shastra. Now, should he stay with the family or walk out?
There are no specific answers for this. It can be said yes or no. You stay at home and you will gain moksha, gnanam.
And there is another question. A mumukshu wants moksha. He wants to know the truth of the self, which means he considers himself to be a limited person yet. But he has a value for moksha after studying Vedanta. Should he take to sannyasa or not?
If you ask Shankara and Buddha, they will say, go ahead and take sannyasa. Gita Krishna doesn't say categorically. Or you can even say that he says, stay where you are, continue to do your duty, understand the self, and get moksha. This proves the point that even if the person is not a jnani, but has a value for it, he can take sannyasa.
The status of being removed from the field of karma is naishkarmyam. You understand, that is the right way to get the truth of the self and get moksha and enter into the life of naishkarmyam, which is sannyasa. That is immortality. Even for those who want to know the truth of self, sannyasa is mandated.
Whatever pursuit you have, if it is incomplete, it will not take you anywhere. If you are a mumukshu, you have to move away from samsara.
Gnanam is the ultimate. That is the subject matter of Upanishads. Fine. But then, what about karma and upasana?
They are there. We are not dismissing anything. The karmas very much belong to the grihastha, family person. These karmas should be associated with Hiranyagarbha Upasana, the universal power. The vision of this Apara Brahman must be part of Grihastha-ashrama together with karmas.
If you believe that external forms are real and God resides in them, it is Dvaita. So, that is not the Vedic Upasana or divine worship. If you understand that external forms are unreal and they indicate the underlying reality, which is the divinity, see through the external form and arrive at the Brahman. This kind of upasana elevates the person. This is how upasana becomes part of the grihastha.
Suppose karma together with the upasana gives you the moksha. Then you don't need jnanam. Suppose that were the case.
You do karmas, there is a result. Whereas in the Vedic karma and upasana, the one who worships the devata mentally merges in the devata. That is the upasana phalam. But even that does not take you out of the orbit of samsara, because devatas too have sorrow and pleasure, hunger and thirst. So do not say that there is no jnanam beyond karma and upasana.
No, Bhagavati, no. When you worship mentally Hiranyagarbha, it gives moksha. Indra, Surya, Chandra, rivers like Ganga are the anga of Hiranyagarbha. Suppose you limit your karma and upasana to these angas, the phalam will merge with the devata. That is samsara. Therefore, within karma and upasana itself, there is moksha.
Not acceptable, Acharyaji. You see, moksha is the result of Atma Vidya, realization of the self. Upasana includes necessarily that division. It elevates you, yes, but you cannot dismiss the ultimate, which is Atma Vidya.
Nama, Rupa, Karma have no place in the Atma, because Atma is nameless, formless, and changeless. That means all names and forms are dismissed, and then already the real is with you, and that is moksha.
Wow! You say that with such a conviction? How?
Because Shruti is saying Gnani is a liberated soul. To him, there is nothing other than Atma, which is the knowingness, the light of awareness. That is the Sarvatma Bhava. When in this vision everything is Atma, the question of result does not arise. That is clear, isn't it?
In Upasana, you visualize the fullness as Brahman and mentally worship it as other than you. Fullness is the infinite, which is spaceless and timeless. Suppose you investigate and find out that the spaceless and timeless that you're worshipping on the outside is indeed your own innermost self. That is jnanam. But you say that there is no jnanam, which implies that there is no sannyasa.
For us, karma is all. There is no gnanam or sannyasa. Besides, if you take to sannyasa, so many issues, so many problems will come.
Avidya is karma and vidya is upasana. Shruti says they have to be practiced together. So, how can you take to sannyasa? If you take to sannyasa, you can hold on to vidya, but you cannot practice karma.
Acharya ji, you have misunderstood the statement of the Upanishad. How can you hold on to vidya and avidya together? Doesn't it sound contradictory to you? They are mutually exclusive. That is not the meaning of the mantra.
That is how it sounds to us. If that is not the meaning, maybe you can enlighten us.
All right, please listen. The meaning of the statement is Vidya, which is Gnanam, and Avidya, which is Karma, cannot coexist in the same person at the same time. You begin your life with Karma, and then, in due course of time, you move out of it and enter into Vidya.
Now, to prove this point, Swamiji's shell silver example comes alive. Here, a few Kannada words are used and translated to jazz up the dialogues a bit. Now our journey takes us to Mulki, a small town on the coast of the Arabian Sea in Karnataka, to meet Kalyani and Basappa. the born again version of Mallamma and Pullaya. Our hero Basappa is on the beach, looking intently at some shining things scattered on the sand. He seems to have found something on the sand. So he is backstage looking at them, examining them.
ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಿ ಬಾರೆ?
ಯಾಕೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂಗಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ ನನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ?
ಗೊತ್ತು.
ಹಾಂ, ಏನು?
I know you work all the time.
ಈ ಮನೇಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೆಲಸ, ವರ್ಕ್. ಹೇಳಿ, ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ ವಾಟ್?
See,
ಹಾಂ,
I went to the beach.
ಹಾಂ, ಓಕೆ.
I found something nice.
ಹಾಂ, ನೀರಾ? ಮಣ್ಣ?
Very precious. See, so shiny.
ಹಾಂ, ಶೈನಿಂಗು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ?
Shining means they are silver coins. ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ನಾಣ್ಯ, ಗೊತ್ತಾ?
ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ಇದ ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ನಾಣ್ಯ, ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್. ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಅಂತ ಇದು.
ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳೇ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್ಸ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಟೆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ವುಮೆನ್ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಹರ್ that they are silver coins, please.
ಅಲ್ಲ ರೀ, he told me these are gold bangles. He got me gold bangles.
Yeah.
Then it turned out to be brass. 100% brass.
Not always.
Shuddhatma ji, where are you, Shuddhatma ji? Can you please come and tell this man what this is?
ಬುದ್ಧಿಗಳೇ,
ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ನಾಣ್ಯ,
ಬನ್ನಿ
silver coin.
ಅಡ್ವಿದ್ದೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿ. Pranams Siddhartha ji, please come. Yeah.
ಬಸಪ್ಪ, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀಯಾ?
ನೀವ್ ಹೆಂಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
ನಾನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನೀನ್ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀಯಾ?
ಗುಡ್.
ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಬಸಪ್ಪ, ಇದು ಚೂರು ಬೆಳ್ಳಿಯ ನಾಣ್ಯವಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಬಸಪ್ಪ. It's not silver coin. It looks like a silver coin because of your desire for it to be silver. But idu kevala chippo.
He tells that this is chippo, shells. No.
It is only shell. You see what you want to see, Basappa.
I thought, Shuddhatma ji, at least you will support me.
I supported you in right way.
ನಿಜ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. He told you the truth.
Okay, thank you.
ಅವರು ಕಾಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಎಂದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. He wanted to make ankle chains with this.
ಫಳ. Okay.
ಇವಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ?
ನಡಿ.
Did you know now?
Okay. Go.
ಬುದ್ದು ಬಸವಪ್ಪ.
Go.
ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಅಂತೆ, ಸಿಲ್ವರ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್. ಬನ್ನಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
Don't you think Basappa clarified the contradiction very well? First, he mistook the shell for silver, and when he looked at it closely, again and again, understood it as shell. In this, the avidya as silver, and then the vidya, jnanam, as shell. Were they together in the same person at the same time?
No. It is not like that. They are together in the same person but at different times.
Okay. So similarly, Vidya, Atmagnanam versus Avidya, the impulse to do karma cannot be together at the same time. They will be at different times in a person's life. It is that simple. And that is how you have to understand that mantra.
In Ishavasya Upanishad Bhashya, the meaning given is avidya is karma and vidya is upasana. They should be together, no contradiction. But if vidya means Atma Jnanam, then the mantra has to be understood appropriately. Another point to note is avidya and vidya give different results. Avidya leads to bondage and vidya to freedom. That shows they cannot be together. They can be successively, but not together.
Then why do you say karma is avidya and you have to overcome it and then come to vidya? What is the karma which you are calling avidya?
Learned Acharya ji, you aspire to know Brahman with the help of tapas. Therefore, tapas is the means. It is to inquire, investigate, do service to the Guru, think and ask questions, include whatever other means there is. That helps you to gain the knowledge. All these come under the category of karma and it is called avidya.
Oh, my Rama, this karma is called avidya. Why? Arey, very beautiful karma, very nice karma. Why do you call it avidya?
Because in that karma there is ajnana. Avidya in the form of sense of doership. When he understands that doership is wrong, that is vidya. Vidya and avidya hang by a single thread of doership.
Let us take up one more unfinished business. When the Upanishad and the earlier Brihati Sahasra are the same, how can you say jnanam that Upanishad is going to present is opposite to the karma that Brihati Sahasra has presented?
In the context of karma, the Atma in the earlier chapter has a few attributes such as hope, desires to be fulfilled in the future, and it considers itself to be body-mind and as a karta. So, it is a Savishesha Atma. Then, in the context of Jnanam, the Atma the Upanishad is going to present is Nirvishesha Atma. It is attributeless. Therefore, no similarity between the two.
Okay, Panditjis, enough is enough. What exactly is this Atma you have been harping on last 1 hour?
Patience, Ammagaru, patience. The best possible description of Atma is Paraha, the supreme reality. All around is Prakriti, the phenomenal, matter and energy, ever in flux. All of that cacophony, the chaos is illuminated by the Nauminon, which is the Paraha, and that is Atma. It is changeless, timeless, all-knowing, Sarvagnya. By saying Paraha, you cross the portal of matter and energy and go into the light of awareness. That is how the Upanishads and Shankara give us a living God, Atma, the eternal self of a human being.
Did you all hear that well? Paraha is Sarvagnya, knows all. Atma is all-knowing. Yematti. That means the all-knowing Sarvagnya versus the little knowing, which is us. Poor guys. Dasoham's here.
Amma Bhagavati, believe the Shruti. Your Atma is the Sarvagna, all-knowing.
Shanti, revered Vipravers, Shanti. Until we meet again, we can only suggest that you swim across the ocean of samsara with its lashing waves of attributes. When you create space with reference to those, you have conquered samsara, the life of becoming. You will then sense the pure being in yourself. That is the Atma. Sarva samsara dharma varjitaha. That is self-knowledge, liberation.
Om Tat Sat
Shri Brahmarpanamastu.
Once again, our Purvapakshi's tenacious attempts to stump the Siddhantis did not prevail. Would this mean yet another Samvada? Well, time will tell. Swamiji, words cannot give expression to our immense gratitude for all that you do for us with love and patience. Dhanyoham, Swamiji, for your compassion and wisdom, which has been an anchor for us. We request you to please come and address the students.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. This is a very wonderful effort, as you have all seen it in the last 1 hour. The entire credit goes to Srimati Swamini Śrī Vidyananda ji, who has put her entire time and energy into it. Even the very idea is her idea. Such ideas I don't even get into my head. And that small story which I told as part of the flow has become a skit, and I am amazed that it is a beautiful story which nicely defines the samsaris, and so that story is presented in a very nice fashion. And even the silver shell example also came out very well. The entire thing is a great effort by Srimati Swamini ji, and she trained all these Purvapakshis and Siddhantis. And so, all credit to her. I am sure some more samvadas of this type are in the offing, and they will come in due course of time. And so, very nice. Congratulations to all of you. Om.
Thank you, Swamiji. Now our sincere gratitude to the following who have gone beyond the call of duty to make this production possible. I invite you all to please applaud them. Sangeeta and Naveen as Siddhantis. Indra and Jagadisha as Mimamsakas. Chaya and Chetan as Mallamagaru and Pulaya, also born again as Kalyani and Basappa. Our dear Shuddhatmaji, please come for being such a good sport. Satish for impersonating Ranganagaru's voice so well. Is he here? Needless to say, their roles made the difference in that the novelty and humor added an interesting flavor to the Samvada. Sangeeta and Sashi for costumes and makeup. Raji, Chitra, Sahadev, and Karthik, our audio-video team. Jayanti, Rama, and Francis, our stage artists. Maria and Purna, who did the seating arrangements. Chandrasekhar and Naveen for formatting, printing, and compiling the Samvada booklets. Chandrasekhar is not able to be here tonight. And our Kathy from our housekeeping for the authentic silver coin she made. And with that, we conclude yet another Samvada. And thank you all for your presence and continued encouragement. And now, this speaker takes leave for the last time with much gratitude for your support, for the support you have extended over the past 6 years during the 6 Samvadas we've had. Namaskaram to all of you. And finally, it is time to capture the memory of this day in a photograph. Please, Swamiji, come and do the honors.
Mr. Swamiji, give a big round of applause to Swamiji.
Ah